All right, I believe that we are going. I believe that it is real. Good morning, hey! Welcome, it is I, your host, Poco Kiddo, with yet another episode of Red Stone Lapis Lazuli. Ah! Alright, here we go. Ta-da! It is indeed. What is this? What is this? It is a workstation. like it's basic workstation for Minecraft. You got your anvil, you got your stone cutter, you got your workbench, you got your grinder, you got your boxes and your bed. But where am I? What is this place? Where am I? I am here at the trading hall. But wait a minute, the trading hall looks different. Yes, indeed it does. I've been working on it. Oh, wait. Get rid of my frames per second. Options. Video settings. Extras. See, I always forget something. Do you even need to see the coordinates? No, that's distracting. I played. No, you still see the coordinates. Options. Video settings. Extras. Show coordinates. All right, there. Okay. So yes, this is my trading hall. Wait a minute, let me get rid of I kind of need that one up because I need to be able to see the preview of what I'm doing because I always mess up a lot. Anyways, so yeah, this is my trading hall. I've just added a few things. So I've been on many adventures. Let me tell you, right? As you know, I got this brand new system that I'm currently working with, trying to figure things out. Along the way of me trying to figure things out, I crashed many times. Many times the computer crashed. One time when it crashed, it took out my world, this world. It took it out. It was corrupted. I couldn't use it. So the only way I could save it is if I cloned it. Well, if you clone it, sure, you can keep the buildings inside, you can keep the boxes inside, but any player and their inventory is gone. So my player, with their inventory and their awesome gear was erased. So I saved the world, lost the player. So I had to spend a lot of time, and that's what I don't like about it, is that I had to spend a lot of time to get my gear back. Like, it took a long time to get this. So, I mean, I got it now. It's all good. But still, it took a long time. And one of the reasons why it took a long time was because I did not have my trading hall set up. Sure, it may look like a trading hall, but in actuality, this is like a spaceship. It's a spaceship. It is a resurrection pod. When I die and I lose all my stuff, I come back, but I've lost all my material things. So, like my material possessions. So by coming back here, I've designed this place to make it as easy as possible to come back from a traumatic experience such as death. So if I were to die and I come back in here naked, I mean, I wouldn't have to come back in here, right? I mean, I would take the train line. There's a train line here. So I wouldn't have to walk through the dangerous scariness. I would take a train line here. And already in the back here, there's plenty of diamond stuff ready to go. All I have to do is pick which of these enchantments I want, and then go over here and then have this guy, have him put him on for me, or then and put him on, and then like I trade over here. I have a symbiotic relationship with these farmers. These are 3 farmers. And these 3 farmers, I can, by trading with them, I can trade them melons. I have lots of melons. I love melons, and I have melons. So I trade with them all of my melons, and in return, they give me like emeralds and experience. Then I trade them back the emeralds to get golden carrots. So I don't need to slaughter cows. I don't need to kill cows anymore. I just eat golden carrots. Yay! Indian food. Yay! So, isn't that cool? I turn in melons for emeralds, and then turn in emeralds for Indian food. Ah! It's great. Okay, so there, and then with the experience, I can add my enchantments. Yeah, and there's all sorts of enchantments I can get. And like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more guys that I can still pick. I can still, like, if I think of an enchantment I want, there's still 6 more guys I can pick to like find the enchantment, because these guys haven't been locked into their trades yet. So yeah, and then these guys, I don't know if I want to keep them, but they're like butchers. So like if I wanted to get like meat, but I don't need meat. I get food from these guys, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. I might like change their profession to something else. Yeah, I have an enchanting table if I want to just enchant things. I can buy, if I need any more stuff, I can just hook them up right here. Dude will help me out. And then any armor, I got it right here. It's all lined up. It's all lined up for, so in the case that in the unfortunate circumstance that I were to like somehow lose all my possessions, either through dying or because the world glitched, and either through dying or because the world glitched. Yeah, and up there is a lightning rod. I didn't want to put the lightning rod too close to the roof because the roof is made of fire. So if lightning strikes the lightning rod, all around the lightning rod becomes hot. And if wood is there, it'll burn, and it'll burn down the roof. So I had to put it up in the air so it wouldn't burn down the roof. Anyways, yeah. So yeah. I put some windows in so some light can come in, because it looks like an ugly square building. At first it looked pretty bad. I had to do something to help it out. Oh yeah, and then here the mouth, the not even the mouth, it's the entrance. It had like transparent blocks, and you could see through them, and that caused lots of like lag. So I had to get rid of that transparency to get rid of the lag. Although, you know what, I think things have improved. I don't know if I need to continue to do that. Maybe I can like work on that more. Anyways, yeah, and I'm using this shader pack called Rethinking Voxels, and it's really, really, really nice. It just makes the light feel so nice. Except I don't have any shadows, but that's okay. That's okay. It's a beta, right? It's still in process. And that's the thing. Look at this colored lighting, right? Isn't that nice? The colored lighting. Ah. So if we come over here, we notice, oh, look, something's different over here. Yes. Remember how I told you there was I have a symbiotic relationship with the farmers. They take my melons and I get emeralds. Well, in pursuit of that relationship, I constructed, like, this is like a typical melon farm in Java. These are really, really fantastic. They really get a lot of melons. The problem is that my pickup system is no good. My drop off pickup and drop off, not my pickup. My pickup is fine. The drop off is no good. I can't get it to stop. I don't know why, but like it just won't, like it won't stop. It won't stop. I can't get it to stop. Like, it's loaded up, right? It's full of stuff. It's full of stuff. It wants to unload and like drop off its stuff. But every time it comes here, like it starts unloading, and the comparator only flashes really, really quick. It doesn't unload quick enough to make it a solid signal. So it flashes. Like, And then if it flashes, then this rail up here never turns off long enough for the cart to stop. You see what I mean? Like, it's in there, but it just, I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if I make it go straight down instead, if that would help. If you can't even, yeah, see, now it's going better. Okay, I got it. I understand what was the problem. The problem was that it was emptying out double fast, once going down and then once into the chest. And if it's going double fast, then yeah, this is not going to keep up. But if it's just normal speed, just one, now it only has one possibility. It can only go down. So it goes down much, but it's slower. But that's okay, whatever. This isn't going anywhere. Hey, I fixed my problem. That's funny. Hey, look at that. I fixed it. Oh no. Okay. Oh yeah. This guy was loaded up with stuff. Okay. Go, 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 go. Ha 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 ha. Now it's working. Here, quick, 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 before it changes. I need to, do I have time to change this? Nah, it's gonna, yeah. Nope. It's gonna fall through. Yep, like I thought. Down. Okay, perfect. Now it will work. Oh, maybe not. It went instantly. Alright, how about like this? Oh, I didn't see what happened. So I'm having it go into this one. Maybe that will slow it enough. Let's see, let's see. Check. Do 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 do. No, it's the same problem. See, I don't know how to get to stop long enough to unload its stuff. It doesn't stop. It just picks up more and more stuff. I don't know how to fix it. So I could work on it more, but like, you know, how long have I'm 13 minutes into my show. Like, do you really want to see me work on a Minecraft problem? How would I even fix it? I would make this a solid block and make it go down. So it's a I need another powered rail. So that it falls back. Here, I will show you. Happy Sunday, by the way. Happy Sunday. The Sunday of my happiness. Happy Sunday. Okay. Ha ha ha. Look at this guy with full of stuff, never stopped. All right. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. So you come up. You're gonna be a solid block. solid, solid. Actually, you don't even need to be a solid block. All you need to do is be a block. Because it's gonna come down. And yes, you go into there, and then you go into that one. So it's gonna rest down on this one, and then go against a solid block over here. Bah. Like that. And underneath it is the comparator who compares the Tor. No, he's going to compare and see if there's anything in there. If there's something in there, he's going to light up and put a power in here. When he lights up, puts a power in there, it's going to change that torch to be off. Because right now it's on. And then right now that torch is putting power into this block, which puts power into that redstone there, and then powers this block. And then we put a powered rail there, a powered rail there, and a regular rail up here. Okay, so theoretically, when the guy comes down, he's gonna hit here, but the incline is gonna make him keep pushing him back this way until like it stays on long enough to like launch him out. So I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen. That's the theory here behind this. Let's see how it works in practice. There's plenty of items that need to be picked up, and our minecart is doing exactly that, picking up the items with incredible efficiency. Here it comes back. Here we go. The moment of truth. Oh my goodness. It just like stopped instantly. Well, that's a good sign. Oh, and there it goes. To pick up the rest. Now, if you can do it again, then I will feel pretty good about it. All right, it's on its way back. Do it again. Oh, yes. Superior design. I mean, yeah, it's more expensive and it takes more room, but it works, right? Superior design. Anyways, all right, so now I've got my symbiotic relationship going with the farmers. And now, if I die, I can be reborn and not have to work so hard to get back to where I was in Minecraft. I mean, yeah, there's lessons you can apply to the real world, to be sure. But like for instance, suppose you're a business person and you have a dream of your business, and you spend your time and energy and your heart and soul and your blood, sweat, and tears. You exploit the shit out of yourself in order to make your business vision come true. But guess what, guys? Guess what? We live in the United States, in America. 90% of small businesses fail. 90%. I don't care how much blood, sweat, and tears you put into it. If a business can't make it, it's not going to make it. Like Elon Musk needed to take out loans from Uncle Sam, or not loans, but subsidies from Uncle Sam to the tune of like $5 billion almost the net worth of George Soros. So Elon Musk took out subsidies from Uncle Sam to the tune of the worth of George Soros in order to get his business off the ground. Regular business folk don't have Uncle Sam in their pocket. So chances are, doesn't matter how much blood, sweat, and tears you put into your business, how smart of an idea you have, what a good idea it is, how much it's needed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The business is ruthless. And this environment is not necessarily conducive to small businesses succeeding. Therefore, 90% more likely than not, you're going to fail. And you're going to lose everything. You're gonna basically in the game you're gonna lose. so wouldn't it be better, since you're gonna more likely than not, since you're gonna lose and you're gonna end up at the bottom, like quote like dead and respawned. Like you're not physically dead, you're still like here on this timeline. But like in the financial game, you're ruined. You have no money. You're bankrupt. You lost everything, right? Wouldn't it be better if we created an environment in which you didn't respawn with absolutely nothing in the forest with nothing? Wouldn't it be, and then have to work your way back up to like, because in Minecraft, sure, you have unlimited time. You can do that. But in the real world, you get older and it gets harder to do that. To respawn. So wouldn't it be nice if we create a society in which when you die, it's quote die, when you lose all your stuff, it's easy to rebound, it's easy to spawn back. If you become homeless from like, why you shouldn't even become homeless in what I'm saying. It's like homelessness should not be a consequence of a failed business, of trying to a failed small business. You should respawn in a trading hall where everything is given to you. Like diamond armor is all given to you. Like all you have to do is enchant it. I might even take the time to pre-enchant some of this armor. You know what? Here, I gotta check my levels. Check my levels. Chickity, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah, that's way better. I like... totally lowered the gain or the decibels by a lot. I talk loud, dude. I'm a loud talker. I can't help it. I get excited about stuff. And in the morning, I have lots of energy. In the evening, I'm so tired about everything. I don't want to like nothing. But in the morning, I'm like fresh. I'm full of coffee. I am like, whoa. I'm like that was one of my best times is waking up. Generally Saturday morning in like 2002. In 2002, waking up early morning Saturdays, I lived in the Riverside Artist Lofts, and I would like go downstairs and meet my other older neighbors for coffee on the river. There was a coffee shop downstairs, dude. It was like incredible. Like I'm like looking back at that, I'm like, dude, you had it so made. Like you had it so made. You were so young and didn't know what you had. Yeah, I was so young and just had no idea what I had. I had no idea. I had no idea. Yeah, none. Anyways, yeah. So, despite getting murdered, not even murdered, but like, despite losing all my gear to a computer glitch, I managed to, I through a lot of work, I managed to bounce back and get all this great gear. If I didn't, and that's only because I started that trading hall. Had I not even started the trading hall, it would have taken me a lot longer to get my gear back. I mean, I would have had to use my diamonds, and I don't want to use my diamonds. Like, in a couple weeks, in like 1 week, they're gonna release the next version of Minecraft. No, come back. They're gonna release the next version of Minecraft. And netherite becomes a lot more difficult to obtain. You're gonna need diamonds in order to craft more netherite gear. Diamonds become useful again, besides just hoarding. So yeah. So the beauty, since I had to die and respawn, I kind of worked on this place to finish it. I put a roof on it, and like I tried to help the lag because, yeah, it was laggy. I guess I don't know why. Okay, and yeah, so I have all this great gear now, and I can get experience very easily without having to go kill a, you know, before if I wanted to get experience points, I would have to go up there and sit for like how many, like a week in Minecraft days in order to get the experience points to enchant all my gear. Now I just trade with the villagers and I get all the experience I need just by trading with villagers. No need to kill monsters. Yay! Alternate means. Work smarter, not harder. All right. Isn't that cool? I dig it, dude. I dig it. Plus, this rail line has been really useful. I'm glad I didn't destroy it. It's been really useful to move villagers around. Oh yeah. So that guy in there, I accidentally killed his partner, their partner. I accidentally killed their partner during a raid. The raiders were swarming the pod, and I was over here, and I shot an arrow at the pillager who was around this area, but I missed, and the arrow went right in that little spot and killed the partner. And so that person has been without a partner for like a really, really long time. And I only had like 2 more villagers left. So one villager went to the trading hall and the other villager went to be the partner. So yay, at last. At last. At last. Yeah, everything is moving great. Oh wait, if I turn down the mic, do I also turn down the desktop audio? Because I don't want to do that. I just want to turn me down. Here, let me turn this back up. Yeah, see the desktop. Oh! The desktop audio. Oh, there we go. I don't want to turn down the desktop audio. Just my blown out fucking voice. Dude. -6 decibels. Holy shit. -7 decibels. Oh, you're a loud motherfucker. Yeah, all right. That's good. Whatever. 7 decibels, dude. All right. I have been tinkering with so I upgraded my computer, but I upgraded it like in a bunch of ways at once, and I basically way increased its power level, but I never changed the motherboard. So, like, it's real touchy. but I'm pretty sure it's stable. If I don't like, I think I've gotten the processor okay. Now it's the video card that's finicky. That's a little bit weird. But that's because AMD is still working on the drivers. So come on, AMD, work harder, work faster, just hire more people to work on your drivers and stuff. Because that's where it's all at. If you can't make your drivers deliver, then what's your hardware gonna do? Like, you gotta have the drivers. You gotta hire a lot more software people. What good is your hardware if it has no drivers, software drivers? All right. Ukraine. Ukraine is going on its counter-offensive now. And let's go Ukraine. Good job. We should send them F-16s and long-range artillery to finish the job. This war is not going to end until the Russian forces are forced to leave Ukraine. Once the Russians are forced to leave Ukraine, then we can do peace. But the Russians are not interested in doing peace until they're forced to leave. If you look at Russia, their whole history is imperialism. The whole history of Russia is imperialism. It was that one brief moment where they tried democracy after the Soviet Union failed. And it only lasted for like barely any time before it collapsed again and they went back into imperialism. Oh yeah, the Warded Grove. Let's go check that out. I haven't really done too much work there either, because I had to like respawn myself. Again, like if we structure society to make it easier to bounce back from economic failures, so that like things like, you know, oh, I lost my healthcare and I lost my house. Stuff like that doesn't happen. Those are not good consequences of a failed small business. Like homelessness and lack of healthcare are terrible consequences. It makes it so that you don't even want to try. It's like, why even risk it? That's crazy. So that stifles competition, because like big businesses then, you know, through economics of scale of economics, just like destroy small businesses and snuff out competition. Yeah, we can do it better, guys. We can do it. We have to increase our economic diversity. The hills are alive with the sound of music. La da da da, la la da da da. I don't know the words. I gotta look at the rest of the words. Da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da. All right. Okay, what is this? Floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you call the ground floor a floor. Oh, that's right. I have to be quiet, dude. It's like 9 o'clock. I'm singing and shit, but I shouldn't be doing that. Oh well. I do this every week. Come on, man. I even started like later. Okay. Okay. These zombies, man. What's up with you zombies? Have you no shame? Have you no sense of self-preservation? So yeah, happy Memorial Day. I myself do not know of anybody in my family who died in in service to our country. I don't know anyone particularly from my family, but I have heard stories from other people. And one story in particular is of a guy from Canada. This guy's Canadian. And it's probably from out here. Oh no, I don't know where that guy came from. Where'd you come from, zombie? Oh my god. Seriously, where'd you come from? There's like nowhere to spawn. How'd you get in here, zombie? Are they just like walking up? Are they that smart? No. So I know of I don't know if that's my story to share or not. Maybe I shouldn't share it. Yeah, I better not share it. It's not my story to share. But yeah, this freedom that we have, like, it came at a cost. It was not free. Quote quote. Oh, how terribly cliche is that? But yeah, for real, like, I mean, just look in Ukraine right now to understand what it costs. Right? I mean, visceral example. Hey, that's a tree that's way up there. Yeah, that's like that tree is like at the cloud line. Wow. Cool. So yeah, working on the groove, working on this. You know what I think I need is I need to like delineate which is each layer. Like I don't know if I want to call this the ground floor a floor. I want to. I guess it's the first floor, right? I mean, like that's what we always think. This is the first floor, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this should be the top floor. Wah 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 wah. 7. I should make a 7-layer pagoda out of it. Ooh, that's a good idea. I have to learn how to, but I have to study. Like, how do they even do those pagodas? I don't even know how they do them. I have pictures. I can just look at my own pictures. They have a pagoda in Nara City, Japan. It's like famous. It's really big. It's nice pagoda. Big pagoda. They're huge, and it's all wood. There's not a scrap of metal in it. All of it's made of wood. All the joints, everything, it's all wood. Like it's incredible. It's incredible that they could do that. That they could carve wood so precisely that they can construct a giant 7-story pagoda. Like literally, like we're like. Let me finish it, right? It'll be about this tall. and have no iron in it, no wood, no metal. It was all with just wood. because they didn't have any freaking iron was real scarce in Japan. They don't they have a tiny island to work on, and it didn't have a bunch of iron on it. It didn't have much iron. They had to trade to get iron. Like if you play Fortnite, they have like little Tokyos and like and like Japanese castles and stuff in there now. They're showing off the assets inside of Unreal Engine 5. It's ridiculous, like how many different time periods they can construct just like easily, just like that. They just make it. Well, not easily. The artists had to design all that stuff, but the engine, their technology can just create like whatever time period you need of stuff. So they have now they're doing like all these big like Japanese castles. It's crazy. All right. Let's see what's on the menu here today. I don't have a whole lot. I mean, like, I don't know. Like things haven't really fundamentally changed in the United States. I think the biggest news this morning was that the debt ceiling crisis was averted. That Biden and Kevin McCarthy came to a deal. And that's the thing. Like I'm like, what kind of deal can you come with hostage takers? Like, that mountain is crazy. Yeah. What kind of deal can you come up with someone who takes hostages like that? Like, it's just gonna do it again next time. Like, but whatever. So here's a map, and I forget who made the map. But this is a map of the United States that color coded to show you which states are most at risk for trans people. So if you're a trans American, and the states in red have active anti-trans laws, they're actively like against you. The state is actively against you. And in Florida, you can't even get your medication. You can't get anything. You can't, like, they're for sure after you in Florida. And in the blue states, it's freer, right? Low risk or safest with protections. The state will protect you. So this is the laboratory, the laboratory of democracy at work. But another way of looking at it is like this. You have your Confederate states in red, and your free states in blue. Because essentially, the states in red are generally controlled by Republicans, and Republicans are generally neo-Confederates. Do you know about the attempt to call the new Constitutional Convention? In the Constitution, it says the states can call a new Constitutional Convention if they get 34 states to ratify it. So, look how many states they control. Isn't that weird? But all these states right here have like almost no people in them. Ah ha 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 ha. I mean, they're pretty empty, but yet they have the same number of they have the same number of senators, or like they have more senators than California, which has more people than all of them combined. So it's like an so the Confederate States are trying to force a constitutional convention in which they'll have the majority of states, not the majority of people, but the majority of states, and then that way they can create like a slaver constitution, like they want to do, like they tried to do before, like they did before, and then the United States just smacked them down. So, yeah, so that's another way of looking at it, because you have to look at it. White supremacy and homophobia and anti-trans, it's all lumped together. It's all with the idea of control. They're trying to control people. Let me get more coffee. I think I'm out of coffee, man. I have to make more. Hold on. The idea is that they want to control people. Man, see, I should have made coffee ahead of time. It took me like, I was already freaking late to do this. I didn't really want to do this. It's hard. It's hard to keep doing this. Okay, this show. So I'm sorry if it's not perfect. Like, but yeah. So it's all connected. That's the thing I want you to do. I mean, if you want to do like the Venn diagram of traits, anti-gay, anti-trans tends to be in the same camp with people who are white supremacists and Nazis, and want to use violence to hurt people. Generally speaking, in the United States. So making coffee here, making coffee. I apologize. Things are all messed up. Oh no, I just heard they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. So look at this like a state, like a map of the United States. And what states are controlled by Confederates and what states are controlled by the Union. Alright, I don't want to hang out here, dude. Okay. Let's see. So here's a tale of two presidents. A tale of two presidents. This will help get a bearing for people to understand where we are as a country. Here. What was that other thing I wanted? That other program that was so good? CapChat. Nomax. I want to keep this map up. Open with Nomax. Yeah, buddy. Where's Nomax? Where'd you go, Nomax? Okay, oh, it's on there. That's the thing I wanted to show. Okay. Okay. So, a tale of two presidents. So, Obama, you can say, is the president of the Union, right? And when he sees North Korea, he sees an enemy, someone that seeks to do the United States and her allies harm. So Obama, his relationship with this entity is adversarial. You can see it, adversarial. It represents the, he was chosen president by the majority of people in the blue states. Over here. Okay. Donald Trump is friends. He's friends with dictators. He's friendly with dictators. He does see, this is the North Korean guy. He does press, free press. He's a representative of the people. Like, he was chosen to be the leader by the people in the red states, generally speaking. So you can see really clearly, really clearly, this guy, right? That's their relationship, and these are the states that he represents. These red ones, right? Oh no! What have I done? What have I done? There it is. No, what have I done? And Obama is in the blue states. So just so it's clear in your guys' heads as to, like, who's on what's teams. Like, what's going on here? Okay. Bad faith Nazis won. So Matt Walsh on Twitter on April 5th, 2023, Matt Walsh said, "Here's what we should do. Pick a victim, gang up on it, and make an example of it." So Matt Walsh is giving out the play to the Nazis. He's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick a victim, gang up on it, and make an example of it. We can't boycott every woke company, or even most of them, but we can pick one. It hardly matters which, and target it with a ruthless boycott campaign. Claim one scalp, then move on to the next. They're telling us on April exactly the bad faith thing they're going to do. They don't actually believe what they're doing. They don't actually believe that they're manufacturing outrage. It's manufactured outrage. They told us we're going to manufacture outrage and direct it at one target, and we're going to coordinate our actions so that our manufactured outrage will generate the desired results we want. So that's Matt Walsh, right? In April. Here's Matt Walsh 2 days later. "I think this Target boycott has real staying power. Target has now branded itself as a far-left organization to the point where it's embarrassing to stop there. Rah, 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 rah." So, do you see? He's actively, so he's using two different faces, right? Here's one face. That's the face. Now this is him talking to his own team. He's like, "Hey team, this is the plan we're gonna do. We're gonna pretend to get angry at individual businesses every time they do, in order to get a reaction out of them, and then claim a victory when we do it." He's telling his people this. Then he takes that mask off and he puts on the other mask, the feigned outrage mask. And now he's talking to the quote normies and saying, "Oh yeah, I think this Target boycott has real staying power." Wink wink, nudge nudge. Dude, it's all coordinated, like, bullshit campaign. It's coordinated hate campaign by the Nazis against trans people and gay people. Any sexuality that's not cisgendered, they hate, because they're haters, because they're against freedom, right? They're against freedom. It's freedom. The people who are literally grooming their children into white supremacy violence with firearms is accusing other people of doing what they're doing. That's like Darvo, dude. That's Darvo level bullshit. But what do you expect? It's culture that's literally derived from conquerors and from invaders. Like, look where it came from, guys. Look where your culture came from. Like, the whole point of coming to the United States is to transcend where your culture came from. Sure, the culture you came from might have had kings. Sure, the culture you came from might have been oppressive, but that's why you come here to the United States, for freedom, to get over that nonsense, to get past that nonsense, to not reproduce that nonsense on another human being. And this nonsense about going after gay people and homosexuals, going after woke companies, quote, quote, they can't even define woke, because woke for them is whatever they want. they'll call whatever they don't like woke. They can't even define it. They can't even do it. And when they do it, they don't stick to it. Because then when it comes out what it really means, then the truth comes out, and they can't abide by that, because, again, the truth is the enemy of the fascist. They can't handle it. They can't handle the truth. They can't handle it. They can't handle it. So I keep saying that, yeah, Confederate States, right? I keep saying, oh yeah, those are the states with anti-trans laws are Confederate-controlled states. Well, how can I, like, what evidence do I have that these are Confederate-controlled states? That's a pretty bold claim, right? That's pretty bold. That's a pretty massive claim to make for me to just say these are Confederate controls. Do I have any evidence of this? Do you have any proof? Well, here, let's look at just a few examples of what I got here, and we can go forward from there if you need. So, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says on Clay and Buck, I guess it's a conservative like podcast or something, if he's elected president, that on his first day in office, he will consider pardoning any January 6th defendant he believes was politically prosecuted from a member of the public, all the way up to President Trump himself. So in other words, Ron DeSantis is totally on board with the attempted coup on January 6th, and so much so that he's going to pardon the people who did it. So that's one thing. Here's another thing. Remember that guy who murdered some guy, the Black Lives Matter, the white Black Lives Matters protester in Texas? He was a Nazi. Remember him? He wanted to do it. He was all amped up to do it. He posted to his friends he was going to do it. He drove into a crowd. He drove his car into a crowd in order to provoke the reaction he wanted, to give himself cover for the justification for him to murder someone. And then he drove off. That guy literally murdered people because he wanted to. He murdered and the guy was not even he wasn't a black guy. It was a white guy that he murdered. So it's like, it's white supremacy. So white supremacy hurts even white people. White supremacy hurts even white people. Like, white supremacy is terrible. And Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, is saying that he's going to pardon this guy. He wants to pardon this murderer who murdered someone because he's a white supremacist. And Greg Abbott says, oh, I'm going to pardon you. So we have a white supremacist insurrection on January 6th, and Ron DeSantis says, oh yeah, I'm going to pardon those people. We have a white supremacist murdering someone else, and then the governor of Texas says, oh yeah, I'm going to pardon this guy. Okay. And then we have Donald Trump himself, who pardoned literally 15 people convicted in the Mueller probe. So President Donald Trump has issued pardons to 15 people, including those convicted as part of special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, and commuted some or all of the criminal sentences of 5 others. Those granted pardons included former Congressman Duncan Hunter of California and New York's Chris Collins, as well as former Trump campaign foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos. 4 former Blackwater USA guards who were convicted in the killings of 14 unarmed Iraqi civilians in Baghdad in 2007 were also pardoned. Man, this is bullshit. This is like not what I'm talking about. This doesn't even talk about like the people who he pardoned in the Mueller probe. They tricked me into reading a bunch of bullshit. Listen, dudes. Donald Trump pardoned George Papadopoulos. Who's George Papadopoulos? The coffee boy who blabbed to the Australian diplomat that Russia had stolen the Democratic campaign's emails. So George Papadopoulos had connections with the Russians who were already hacking the Democrats. That's what started the whole FBI investigation into Donald Trump, was George Papadopoulos blabbing to the Australian diplomat, who then told the FBI. But that stupid article didn't say that the other people he pardoned was Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn is literally a spy for Turkey. He was an agent for Turkey. He was working for Turkey, and he didn't tell the United States. He didn't declare it on his forms. But the United States knew Michael Flynn was a spy for a while. He used to work under Obama until Obama found out that he was a spy and he fired him. Then when Donald Trump hired Michael Flynn, Obama told Donald Trump that Michael Flynn was a spy, and they didn't do anything about it. Then the Deputy Attorney General, Sally Yates, told the Trump campaign that Michael Flynn's a spy and he works for Turkey, and you can't be trusting him, and you have to kick him off. And they didn't do anything. So she told them again 2 times. She told the Trump campaign that Michael Flynn was a spy, and the Trump campaign didn't do anything about it. The 3rd time she went to the press, and then the press was like, "Oh, Michael Flynn's a spy," on the Donald Trump campaign. Only then did Donald Trump finally fire Michael Flynn. And reluctantly so. And after they fired Michael Flynn and Donald Trump became president, Donald Trump fired Sally Yates, like, immediately. Why? Because Michael Flynn is a spy, and so is Donald. And Donald Trump is an enemy of the United States. The whole point was to get a spy for Donald Trump. The whole point was to get spies into the White House. That was the whole point. That was the whole point of Michael Flynn. So Michael Flynn was convicted by the FBI and of lying because of the lies he covered up for Donald Trump, and went to prison for it. But Donald Trump pardoned him. Isn't that weird? And then who's the other guy Donald Trump pardoned? Dude. Oh my God. Kevin McCarthy. No. Paul Manafort. Paul Manafort was the campaign manager for Donald Trump, and he had real close connections with Russia. And what Paul Manafort did was he got a hard drive full of voter information, inside voter information, polling data from the national Republican Party, the national GOP, because they're doing their campaigns across the entire country. They're coordinating it, so they have all the data, and they gave all the data to Paul Manafort. Paul Manafort handed off this data to a Russian spy, Konstantin Klimnik, who then handed it off to Russia for them to target their PSYOP campaigns in order to get the results they wanted. They knew which counties they needed to flip in order to get Donald Trump a win with less votes than with less popular votes. Donald Trump lost the popular vote. He only won because 3 counties flipped in a weird way. And we know why they flipped, because they were given the Russians were given the information on where to target their attacks. So that's how Donald Trump got into the presidency, is because it was from help with Russia. But Donald Trump pardoned all those people, right? Donald Trump pardoned all those guys. So we know that's 3 different top-level Republicans who all act in ways congruent with the Confederacy. Congruent with being loyal to an entity other than the United States. 3. 3 leaders, not just regular yahoos. These aren't just regular yahoos. These are leaders. The leader of the state of Texas, the leader of the state of Florida, which are like ginormous states in the United States, and the former president of the United States, and the current frontrunner for the 2024 Republican nomination. These are giant people, guys. These aren't nobodies. So if the leaders of the Republican Party are acting in ways congruent with being a Confederate, it goes to believe that yes, they are indeed Confederates. They're Confederates. They're not loyal to the United States. Isn't that shitty? Like, how many, like, I think one of the deadliest wars ever for Americans was the Civil War. It was the deadliest war ever. More Americans died in the Civil War than any other war, I think. So it's pretty important that you pay attention. You know what's going on, because there's a bunch of people out there who literally want a civil war. It's part of their belief system to create a civil war to wash away the old United States and recreate in its place their white like hellscape. They literally believe this. And they've amassed a number of states in order to do it. They don't necessarily have the majority of people, but they have the majority of power. Hey, good morning. It is JMDX in the house, his house. What's up, man? How you doing? Good morning. I am I'm playing Minecraft, right? Isn't this beautiful Minecraft? It's on like the colored lighting, that's what gets me. Good evening. Hey man, it's morning where I'm from. I don't know where you're at. It's morning here. Hold on, let me get some coffee. Yeah, it's morning time. I fill my cup all the way. Not halfway, all the way. But yeah, over there in chat, I do see this guy named JMDX, and I'm back. Wapata. I'm just talking about stuff. Where is here, if I may ask? I am in Salem, Oregon, in the United States, in the West Coast. It sounds like you are in like Japan or something. Or the Philippines, perhaps. Oh, dude. Interesting. How is it that you can be from Russia? How can that be that you're in Russia and you're able to get on my YouTube? How is that even possible? Do you know what's going on, my good sir from Russia? Do you understand what's happening? I mean, understand my channel, right? I'm very pro-Ukraine. Well, sir, you have to understand that. So I'm okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a way of like projecting onto my screen the conversation I'm having with JMDX. But JMDX here is saying that they are from Russia and that they're aware of what's happening. So hey, Mr. Sir, I might ask, are you for Ukraine? Do you support the Russian invasion of Ukraine? How about that? Do you support the Russian invasion of Ukraine? Because I do not support the Russian invasion of Ukraine. For me, the Russian invasion of Ukraine is a humanitarian disaster, and I would encourage Russia to withdraw back to Russia as soon as possible. Let's avert war. Well, I mean, there's already war, right? Russia already brought the war. So let's avert further casualties and have Russia return back to Russia. Locked and loaded. But I see, you know what? You might be interested in my show because you want to see like the problems in the United States. That is interesting. Well, right. You must know already that Donald Trump is on your team. So, I mean, you guys have him on your state television show. You had Tucker Carlson on your state television show for a long time. But yeah, I already know that Russia has dealings with dude, politics are everywhere. My whole stream is about politics, right? And particularly if you're Russian, your politics are literally killing people. So, like, it's the same thing here in the United States. It's the same thing here in the United States. If there's a person that comes to me and say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about politics," Holmes, we literally live in politics. It is privilege to be able to say, "I don't want to talk about politics." It's privilege to say, "Oh, politics doesn't affect me, therefore I don't want to discuss it." That means the politics are in your favor. The status quo is in your favor. So all you had to do was acknowledge. All you had to do was acknowledge that yes, it's bad for Russia to invade Ukraine. All you had to do, right? There would have been no politics, but now you've created conflict. JMDX has created conflict because all they had to do was go along with it. But by signaling that they're not on that they don't agree with my statement, they've created conflict. And what is there to disagree on? What is there to disagree on? I don't understand. It's pretty clear that Russia has invaded Ukraine. There's no need for I'm gonna have to do an entirely different show now, man. I mean, here, what do I got here? Yeah, entirely different show. Remember this? Oh wait, this is all fucked up. What? Yeah, dude. This is your country. This is your country shooting missiles at Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. And then those are Patriot missile batteries stopping your missiles from killing people in the capital. So for you, it's nice. It's nice to be able to say, oh yeah, I don't want to talk about politics. Look, dude, look what your politics are doing. So see, then you're great, right? So it's actually good. It's actually good that you're only 15 years old. Check it out, because you're like, it's actually good because you're able to, you're not set in your ways. A lot of people, as they get older, become like hardened in their mind, and they're not able to ingest new information. But you're young, so you can do it. So I want you to look real close, right? This is your meaning. I know you don't want to talk about politics. I know you don't want to do it, but you're from Russia, and there's literally a conflict in Russia right now, and your country is doing things, shooting missiles, trying to kill people like you, right? There are 15-year-old Ukrainian kids watching people playing YouTube or playing Minecraft on YouTube, and Russia's shooting missiles at them to kill them. They don't want to talk about politics either, but Russia shoots missiles at them. You see the disconnect here? You see the disconnect? I know you're only 15, but understand what's going on, right? And like, be aware of what can happen. Have you heard that song? It was popular on 4chan for a while. That's where I heard it, but I hear it's also from Gurren Lagann, which is an awesome anime. I love that anime. I'm glad you have no hate for your Ukrainian friends, but the country you live in is literally murdering them. Your friends in Ukraine. The country you're from is literally murdering. So I know you don't want to talk about politics, but your country is literally murdering people in Ukraine. Your Ukrainian friends, literally murdering them. So good, but I need you to speak out against the war. I need you to say. And I understand that maybe it's dangerous for you to speak out directly against the war, but there are ways to organize, and there are ways to signal. There are ways. You have to protect your consciousness, right? What they're after is they're trying to crush your mind, your spirit. They want you to give up. They want you to believe that there's no other future other than the future of Russia that the dictators have given you. But that's false. That's false. You are young, full of energy, full of life, full of possibility. They want you to believe that you are a Newtonian piece, that you are a solid piece, and the world is Newton. It's Newtonian, and it's all according to clockwork determinism. It's all deterministic. It's all done. You can't do anything. You're just a little piece in it. But that's false. That's false. You are a quantum. You are a packet of energy. and you have you live in a cloud of not of determinism, but of probability. As long as you understand that things are probabilistic and not solidified for real, then you have agency to do something about it. You want to buy, yeah, right? Isn't that nice? Like, I want to buy a house. I can't do it right now. I could, but it would destroy me financially. You know what? Your Ukrainian buddies, they want to buy chocolate too, but the Russian missiles blew up their shop. It's shitty, dude. It's shitty. It sucks. You came into a world that was already messed up, and it sucks for you. And so you're gonna rage for a while. That's what I did. When I was young, I raged. When I understood how fucked up the world was. I raged. It took me a long time. What else are you gonna do, dude? The world's fucked up for real. What else are you gonna do but laugh at it? It's absurd. I mean, the whole thing's absurd. The whole thing, everything's absurd. Like, everything's absurd. The world creates enough, produces enough stuff to feed the world like 4 times over. The whole world. We can end starvation right now. We can end it right now. We have the power. We can do it. But we don't. We don't. Why not? Because the distribution isn't there, number one. Well, why isn't the distribution there? Because history. There's all this history that's built on top of it, and it's just ridiculous. And so we can never, ever, 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 ever move forward until we deal with our history. History is like dirty laundry. Like, you can never get your house clean until you do your dirty laundry. Everybody, every society, every culture has dirty laundry. Everybody. No one's clean. Nobody's pure in this world. No one's pure. So everybody's got to do their dirty laundry. And my show is an attempt to do the dirty laundry of the United States. Because we can't move forward until we do our dirty laundry. So like my audience isn't necessarily Russians. I'm sorry, man. I wasn't even prepared to talk to Russians today. I was going to talk to Americans, and in order to get them to understand some fundamental truths about the United States. So I wasn't prepared to talk to a Russian. But I would totally do it. I'm totally about it, man. So Russia has a super long history of imperialism. Super long history of imperialism. That's all Russia does, right? I mean, what did Russia start off as? It started off as the Muscovites, like the Kingdom of Moscow or something, around Moscow, and that's it. That's how it started, and they literally spread their control across the entire top part, and over people that look nothing like them. The people who live in the Far East have nothing to do with the people in Moscow, yet they're ruled by the people in Moscow. What? And that's what's going on right now. That's the whole invasion of Ukraine. Russia does not control Ukraine. It does not have anything to do with Ukraine. Ukraine is a free nation. It is sovereign. It can make any choices it wants. It can associate with whatever it wants, whatever associations it wants. It can do whatever it wants. It's not under control of Russia. But Russia doesn't understand that. Russia still has this mentality of imperialism, which means everything has to benefit Moscow. So what do? They literally invade with violence. They invaded Ukraine. And what did they do it with? Russia used the poorest people, and then when they ran out of the poorest people, then they went into their prisons and took convicts. And they threw the convicts into the meat grinder in Bakhmut. It's like barbaric what imperialism does to people. It's barbaric. It's history, man. It's history compounded on history. It will never stop. It will never end until the Russian people recognize the historical repetition. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. It rhymes. So when the Russian people understand that history rhymes and that the Russian people need to rise up and take control of their own destinies, yeah, then the cycle will end. But that's Russia's dirty laundry, and I'm not that familiar with Russia, right? I can't really judge Russia because I live in the United States, and the United States has its own dirty laundry of imperialism. So and I'm trying to deal with it, right? That's what my show is about. No, dude, I'm not telling you to destroy your country. Are you ridiculous? Are you ridiculous? Are you? Did you totally misunderstand what I said? I didn't say destroy your country. That's absurd. I'm saying save your country. I'm saying take control. That the Russian people need to take control, because who's destroying Russia, dude? Who's destroying Russia? It's not the people who are destroying Russia. It's the oligarchs. It's Putin. It's Pizorikov, I don't know what their name is. Like all those Russian oligarchs who suck the life out of the people and then concentrate it for themselves. Those are the fucked up people. Those are the bad people. I'm telling the Russian people that they're going to continue to get screwed by their elites as long as they allow elites to control the destiny of Russia. All Russia has to do, all the people have to do is rise up against Putin. There's already people doing it. There's already Russians doing it in Belgrade. There's already Russians doing it in Belgrade. I'm not saying you need to go be out there and be violent. I'm not saying you need to go join a guerrilla group. I'm not saying any of that, right? I'm saying look into yourself to find your own way. But you can't be telling people, I don't want to talk about politics when your country is invading other people's countries. Like, if another person wants to come and talk to me and say, hey Pogo Kiro, what are you doing talking harsh about Russia? What about the United States and their invasion of Hawaii? I'll be like, yeah, dude, let's talk about it. They're like, what about the United States history of slavery? I'm like, yep, let's talk about it, dude. I'm all about it. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Let's wash that fucking laundry. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do the work. You are telling me that you don't even want to talk about it. Like, oh, I just want to enjoy the West while being at war with the West. It doesn't work like that, guy. Man, you think I want you to destroy your own country? I want you to free your country. I want you to be free. They think you're a quantum. You need to be or they think you're a Newton. You need to be a quantum. Yeah, do your laundry. Why do you think Russia suffers right now? Because Putin forced it to go into a war with Ukraine. That's why Russia suffers. What do you want the West to do? What do you want us to do? We're not going to do anything. We're not going to invade Russia. That's crazy. No one wants to invade Russia. No one wants Russia. Get out of here. Thinking we want Russia. We want you to go home and take care of your own shit. Like, the West isn't going to take out Putin. The West isn't going to reform Russia. The West isn't going to rebuild Russia. Russia's going to do that. The Russian people are going to take out Putin. The Russian people are going to reform Russia. The Russian people are going to seize the destiny of Russia. It's not good the West. Don't put it on us. Dude, that's hilarious. I mean, like, what do you need, dude? How can I help you? How can I help you? All right, I'm gonna build a train line. Ah! This is fun. Let's use cobblestone. No, I'm pro Ukraine, right? I'm pro freedom, and the funny thing is that being pro Ukraine reflects how I'm also pro Taiwan. And China reveals that it is pro-Russia when it told Kyiv to sue for peace. Or not Kyiv, when it told the EU to accept the gains, the war gains by Russia, the invasion of Russia. See, China has its eyes on invading Taiwan. And that's why it's friends with Russia, because Russia's doing the same thing. So if China feels that if it can help Russia justify its invasion of Ukraine, then Russia can help China justify its invasion of Taiwan. But it's not gonna go well. Do your own dirty laundry, China. Fuck. It's like, why is that such a hard concept for dictatorial states? Yeah, like coming here like on Memorial Day weekend. What do you expect, dude? Yeah, I do dirty laundry because many Americans gave their lives for the freedom that this Russian here guy doesn't understand or pretends not to understand. That's awesome. That's awesome. So this guy, the guy's got to question himself then. What country is his country if he thinks I want him to destroy it? Is he a Russian or is he an oligarch? I'm all for the Russian people. I'm against the oligarchs. And I want Russia to leave Ukraine because I'm all for the Ukrainian people too, because I'm all for people having freedom. I'm all for trans people having the freedom to be themselves. I'm all for gay people having the freedom to be themselves. People gave a lot, sacrificed a lot for that freedom. You better believe it, buddy. I think he's gone. That's so funny. Why would a Russian guy? He wanted. Yeah, he came here to see me talk shit about USA. But I'm doing laundry, dude. What do you want? This is our laundry that we're dealing with. And part of our laundry is that there's a white supremacist movement trying to undo all our progress, trying to take us back to a time of no democracy, which is, what the oligarchs want. That's what the Russian oligarchs want. In fact, they invaded Ukraine in order to make Ukraine have the same system of no democracy that Russia has. The Confederacy tried the same thing at Fort Sumter, and they're going to try it again. Wouldn't it be nice to avert further violence? Isn't one side anti-violence and one side pro-violence? As demonstrated by like how Target stopped their or moved their pride display because their workers were getting threatened. Violent threats from white supremacists. Violence! Yeah. Absolutely, Russia should free itself of the grip of oligarchs. Absolutely. I am 100% on board with that. I will help you. I'll help you overthrow your oligarchs. Let me know what you need. Advice? Go for it, buddy. Encouragement? You can do it. That was so funny. Holy shit. Why would he do that, dude? Who do you think I am? You fool! Yeah. It's important we know the past so that we do not repeat it and that we learn from it. La da 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 da. Cha la 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 la. Cha la 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 la. Cha la 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 la. Cha la la la. La. Oh, oh. All right. All right. All right. Oh, I was gonna make a train line. I remember now. And I started like talking to this guy, and I just got like distracted. Okay. Yo, I can get back on my show, right? Get back to doing dirty laundry. Check this out. Oh no. Where'd it go? Oh, it's in-fran view. Where'd you go, in-fran view? Oh, it's way up in this corner. What the heck? Okay. I'm like, why? Oh. There we go. Oh, here, let's make it bigger, dude. All right, here we go. A tweet by Historic Vids. When Albert Einstein met Charlie Chaplin in 1931, Einstein said, "What I admire most about your art, sorry, what I admire most about your art is its universality. You do not say a word, and yet the world understands you." "It's true," replied Chaplin. "But your fame is even greater. The world admires you when no one understands you." Like, be a quantum. What? Ah! Okay. Yeah, dude, let's see. Who else do I got? What else do I got? What is that? Oh, no, get out of here. Do. Greedflation. So everyone is in the United States is talking, "Oh, inflation." So the feds keep raising interest rates. And interest rates, that just makes mortgages unaffordable. So no one can buy a house anymore. But it doesn't do anything to an inflation. And people are like, well, like someone might be like, "Oh, why isn't raising inflation or raising the interest rates stopping inflation?" Well, let me tell you. Emily Peck will tell you. The idea that profits, The idea that profits drove our current bout of inflation surfaced in the past few years amongst progressive economists and lawmakers, but was waved away by more mainstream types as being a conspiracy theory. That changed earlier this year. In a speech in January, then Fed Vice Chair Lael Brainard said wages weren't the main driver of inflation and pointed to a price spiral where companies mark up prices far higher than the increases in their input costs. In March, the chief economist at UBS Global Wealth Management, Paul Donovan, published a note on profit margin-led inflation, describing how in late 2022 and into this year, companies, particularly retailers and consumer goods makers, convinced consumers that they needed to raise prices. They didn't really. Most of the time, these companies have weak pricing power, meaning they depend on repeat customers and can't just widely increase prices because consumers will abandon them, he says. But businesses both large and small have a convincing story to tell. They really didn't want to raise prices, but there was this terrible war on the pandemic. Terrible war, or the pandemic, or labor shortages, or whatever, Donovan tells Axios. That's what basically has been going on. With so much in flux, people were more accepting of higher costs for everything and more convinced companies had to raise prices. In earnings conference calls last year especially, executives spoke in corporate lingo about consumers accepting such price increases. Key point. Most folks aren't sticking with the greedflation label. That got a lot of blowback from those who argued that companies have long been greedy. That's not what's at play. Donovan's work describes companies taking advantage of a window of opportunity to raise prices more than normal, like kids in a candy shop. A few weeks after Donovan's paper came out, a European Central Bank executive board member, Fabio Panetta, expressed worries that inflation growth was due to increasing profits. The following month, a column in Bloomberg Opinion drew attention to increasing profit margins and urged consumers to push back. The idea that corporate profit expansion has been a big driver of inflation was once mostly confined to trade unions and left-wing academics, but it's now taken seriously by central bankers, the authors wrote. In other words, I was not talking smack when I said that the way to stop inflation was to raise taxes on the wealthy. That wasn't just crazy talk. Like, it's really the deal. Here, let me save this one. The construct. Let me show you. Remember this system I showed you? Remember this system? This is the this is our society. This is our like wholeness, and it's been shaped into the shape of a pyramid, where the guys at the top get all the wealth, all the money from the bottom gets siphoned up to the top. We talked about this, right? Over here. In a bad society, like in Russia, right? So let's take this guy, JMDX. Let's take JMDX. He lives in totalitarian Russia. He has no rights. He has no freedom. He has nothing. Anything he produces can and will be taken by criminals, because and then those criminals have to pay their bosses, and their bosses pay their bosses, and it all gets accumulated to the top. Criminals. It's literally a criminal country. Russia is literally a criminal country. The way it works in Russia is it's fascism, white supremacy, rule of power. It's rule of power. That's the key thing. So in Russia, you have like society shaped like a pyramid, and like from the surface, this is what it looks like. But you have to understand, it's built upon people who are invisible. They're underground. You never get to see them. In Russia, they have zero freedom. They're basically slaves. You never get to see them. And on top of them is the visible society. And then on top of them are the elites. And then at the very, very top is Putin. Putin has all the power. So Putin technically owns everything in Russia. Those are Putin's tanks. That's Putin's military. That's Putin's guns. Those are Putin's bullets and planes and bullets. He determines everything, Putin, under this system. So, yeah, they have a law. This is the law, right? Russia has the law, but because of the system in Russia, Putin is above the law. That means Putin will never, ever, ever, ever have to answer to the law. He is above it. He will never answer to it. And these people down here, they always have to listen to the law, but they will never be protected by it. They have to follow the law, but if they do something against the law, these people will hurt them. If this person does something against the law, it doesn't matter. The law will protect the person at the top, Putin. So this is the Russian society that we want to avoid, that we want to move against, that's invading Ukraine right now. That's the Russian society this is the thing invading Ukraine right now. This is the ideal that Ukraine and all the democratic countries want to attain. This ideal here is exemplified by not like a pyramid. Power isn't distributed up, it's spread around so that everybody gets to have some power through the vote. Everyone gets to have a say, not just the person at the top, but everyone. And everyone is equal before the law. Everyone is the same level before the law. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're trans, if you're atheist, if you're Christian, if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're Buddhist, if you're Hindu, if you're Sikh. If you're Sikh, Sheik Sikhs. Okay. It doesn't matter. Everyone's equal before the law. That way everyone plays the same game fairly. Where over here, it's not a fair game at all. So in the Russian society, all the wealth generated by the people gets siphoned back up to the top, where they take it out. And that's what's happening in the United States too, right? Corporations raised prices. Why? Because they could. Nothing stops them. Consumers are going to pay the money. They can't really go anywhere else. So all that money goes up and out of the economy. They just hoard it in the form of capital, of cash reserves, or they do stock buybacks, which is like, same thing. They're buying themselves, because who owns the stock? Who owns most of the stock? The rich, the 1%. So they're paying themselves. Like all that money, all that extra money that they're making by raising prices doesn't help the economy at all. All it does is it siphons it out. That's why we need to create a progressive tax system that taxes wealth above 1 billion to 100%, and it redirects that cash back into society. How does it redirect it back into society? How does it do that? Through social programs like Medicare for All and free education and infrastructure. Let's build those train lines. Let's build those subways. Let's build those light rails. Let's build those elevated trains. Let's build those housing projects. Let's build that density. Let's preserve our forests and build those trails. Let's save our wetlands. Let's clean out our nature. Let's do our laundry, right? That's what all this is about. Let's take care of our people. Not just like in hospitals, but like at their own homes. You can send people who will go to homes of clients and take care of them there. It's possible. We can do it. And if you live in a dense environment, they can do it without having an automobile, which is key. We can do it with public transportation. Real key. See, like, everyone wants to talk. Like, I love computers, right? I love computers. I mean, like, look, right? I love computers. But what is a computer like? But a computer, like, it centers on this one thing called a CPU, Central Processing Unit. And in that Central Processing Unit, if you look down to it, it used to be one gigantic monolithic die. And you get down to it, and those are like all like, it's like a whole microcircuitry. But they AMD has pushed it as far as it can. I mean, everyone's pushed the monolithic die as far as it can go. And now it like shattered. It went, they shrunk it as much as they could, can't shrink anymore, and went, psh, it broke. Now they have chiplets, not a monolithic one big dude, but little bunches of little guys, a whole bunch of little chips, and they all talk to each other. So I have 12 guys talking to each other. Actually, I don't know the architecture. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't really know the architecture. I don't know. There might be like two cores on a chiplet. I don't know. But the whole idea is that they've shrunk it down. They've shrunk it down so they can get more stuff closer together. You have to redesign it. They had to redesign it to get more stuff closer together through transport, through infrastructure. That's what we need to do. We have shrunk cities down as much as we could in the 20th century. Now in the 21st century, it's time to break them into chiplets, connected by infrastructure like subways and trains. In that way, we can better handle our waste management and the density that we need, because we can create a lot more density in each chiplet than if we try to do a monolithic dense thing. Like maybe back in the day, that's all we could do, and that's all, and that worked. But anymore, I don't know if that will work anymore. I'm not a civil engineer, right? I don't know. I don't really know this. I'm just brainstorming. But if we can use the analogy of the computer chip industry, shattering the monolithic single computer chip into chiplets connected by transport infrastructure to move the data. And if you look at as people as electrons, yeah, you need to be able to transport the electrons across the chip. And They went as far as they could with the monolithic version. Now they're switching to chiplets. We should do that with our infrastructure. All that costs money, right? So where are you gonna get it? From the fucking rich who are hoarding it anyways. They're just putting it up into the cloud and then feeding themselves. That's worthless. Shove it back into us, right? So the way you do that is you put it into social programs like our healthcare, like free education, like free childcare, like infrastructure, like home health care, like home cleaning, like all sorts of stuff we can do. All sorts of stuff we could do. All sorts of things we could finance. Like it's absurd. Why didn't I put another dirt right there? I could. I don't have any, but I do. La 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 la. Why am I talking about this? This is the freedom that our ancestors fought for. We have the freedom to redesign our society. We have that freedom. That's what the vote is about. Our vote into the government is a way of redesigning our society. Russia doesn't have that freedom, and Russia is trying to destroy anyone else who does have that freedom, like Ukraine. That's why we have to defend Ukraine. And we will learn a lot from defending Ukraine. So I think it's a win. It's a win-win-win situation for everyone. Win-win-win, working out my back door. No. Then you shove it back in through universal basic income through UPS, United States Postal Service bank accounts. Universal basic income. You give everyone a monthly check of $1,500 through their postal service bank account. So that means you have to install ATMs at all the post offices, and you have to expand post offices, and yeah. You have to expand the postal service. You have to get rid of Louis DeJoy. He sucks. He's there to sabotage things. He's no good. Okay. So the idea is that is like organic farming. You feed the soil, not the plant. Feed the soil, not the plant. You feed the people. You feed the people the money, not the corporations, not the businesses. You feed the people the money, and the people will know best what to do with it. You don't need to tell them. They have the freedom and freedom of mind in order to best use that money to take care of themselves. So even if capitalism has that tendency, even if it has that tendency to concentrate wealth and power, like, because you're gonna shove money in to get small potatoes out, it's gonna, just go up there. But even if that happens, you're gonna capture it before it escapes. You get to capture it before it escapes. So another way of looking at this is think of like a pot of water, and at the bottom of water, it's just sitting there. You turn on the heat, and the water starts heating up, and it's boiling, and then it turns into vapor, and then it evaporates off. That's what happens right now with our economy. Corporations are evaporating off the money and keeping it for themselves, and it's not going back into the economy to help the people. That's why things are getting more and more expensive. But things aren't getting better. Even though things are getting more expensive, our lives aren't improving. So our deal is broken. So in order to fix that, because the water's escaping, and if it keeps going that way, the pot's going to become dry, and it's going to be empty. So in order to save that from happening, we need to put a lid on top of the pot so the water doesn't evaporate away. It stays inside the system and increases the temperature instead. So instead of increasing the heat, you just turn the heat down, and the water doesn't escape. Right? This right here, a 100% tax on the wealthy, that stops the water, the capital, from escaping our economy, and it redirects it back back into our system. And as it goes back into our system starts getting really, really hot, overheating. So then you don't need to inject as much money back into the system, not as much heat back in the system to keep it moving. You can turn it down. The whole point is to undervolt. The whole point nowadays is to undervolt. You want to give it as little juice as possible to keep it going. The whole point is to undervolt. It used to be, the old way of thinking was overclocking. The old way of thinking was to give it more power, more juice, so that it had more energy to go faster, to push it as far as it could go. That was the old way of thinking. Anymore, with the new chiplet design, with the new system, for some reason, in order to go faster, you want to give it less energy, because with less juice, it's not as hot. And if it's not as hot, it can go faster. So, when it needs to. And when it doesn't need to, it can just chill, like really chill. So, we can redesign our economy, our society, our system. It's our duty to redesign and refine our society because of the sacrifice of our ancestors. Because of their sacrifice. They didn't just throw away their lives so Russia could come and tell everyone what to do. So Putin could tell people what to do and take away freedom. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. We gotta improve our society. And by improving society, we will help all the people. Because look at, right now, this is the way our wealth is distributed. The lowest people have like nothing. The second lowest people have hardly anything. The middle class that everyone points to is all right. And then the quote well off are like that. But then you compare them to the top 20% who own, I think, like 80% of the wealth. They own the top 20% owns 80% of the wealth. That's a bad distribution. This kind of distribution of wealth is going to lead to a system where all the money gets sucked out into the ether and only used as power against the people to bury them, so that you never, ever get to see them, and that you corrupt the law so that they are above it. That's the only reason why you'd want to concentrate wealth and power. The whole point is to redistribute the wealth and power. Liberalism will have you like this. This is the ideal of liberalism. This is the ideal. Whereas the lowest people, instead of having nothing, the lowest people would have about as much as, almost like, yeah, right there. Would be about right there. The lowest people would be our upper middle class. The lowest people under true liberalism would be upper middle class. And the richest people under liberalism would not be obscenely wealthy. It would be more in check. It would be more in check. But this idea still presupposes a class society. It still presupposes a class society. And this here is not static. There's no such thing as like stopping at this point. It's not like a continuum when you can like balance here. You can't stop here. Like there's no mechanism to stop it. Because what ends up happening, once you get this machine going, once this machine it starts moving like this, and it stops accumulating wealth at the very top, the invariable conclusion will be this: if you let this machine go long enough, if you raise up truth and justice and liberty long enough, the conclusion will be communism. It will be communism. No one will have power over anyone else. Everyone will be enlightened enough to be able to do this. We will be enlightened enough to be able to do this, where no one will have power over anyone else. This is where we're at right now. This is what liberalism wants. But I'm telling you, you can't stop here. There's no way of stopping. You cannot achieve this. This is temporary. This is temporary. And I can point to it, right? I can point to the 1950s and 60s and say that was the pinnacle. That was when we achieved this form, was the 1950s and 60s. We achieved this form, but it's not possible to stay here, because if you achieve this and say, okay, we're done, we're going to turn off the machine now because we got our shape, we're done. And if you stop this, what happens is that this wealth is just going to keep going up. It's way up there. Or maybe not. I can't see anything. Potato. Come on, dudes. I need room. Magenta. Magenta. What's your favorite color? Magenta. Where do you get your drugs? Colombia. What? Okay. If you disrupt this, right? Once you turn the machine off, then all that's going to happen is you're going to go to work. What happened in the 1950s and 60s is they achieved this, but then they stopped. They turned off the machine. Black Americans weren't included in, like, saved. They were stuck at the bottom. Black American minorities weren't saved. All the colors of the rainbow weren't saved. This only worked out for white Americans. So they turned off the machine. So what ended up happening, right? They went to work. They went to work, right? Insert 64 cobblestone. Okay, so I'm going to go to work. Work, transform nature. That's what I'm doing. I'm transforming nature. I'm a worker. Using my labor and my tools, transform nature into commodities for the capitalist system. That's what I do. Look at my time. I spend it all day laboring to transform nature into a commodity. Ooh. Uh-oh, I'm using Silky, so it didn't work. No! Here, this way. I spend all days using my labor to transform nature into a commodity to be sold on the market. Because I have nothing else to sell but my labor. That's what I'm doing, transforming nature. Spending my time transforming nature into a commodity for the capitalist system. And in return, what do I get? What do I get for my work? What do I get for my labors? What do I get? What do I get? What do I get? What do I get? Let me tell you, I get. So look, here's the capitalist machine, right? Labor capitalist relations simulator. I'm a worker. I spent my life and my labor to transform nature into a commodity, cobblestone, for my employer. So I insert 64 cobblestone. Oh, damn it. I missed. Okay. Insert 64 cobblestone. Processing. It's like, did you really insert 64 cobblestone? Or did you try to swindle me, you worker, you laborer with nothing? You laborer that has only the labor and the sweat of their brow to sell on the capitalist system because the whole world has been privatized. Is there any more coffee left? Well, it's processing. Did it stop? Did I get an emerald block? Did I get one? Shit, I missed it. I don't see one. Maybe it broke. Is there emeralds? Do I have emeralds? In the bowels of the machine. In the bowels of the machine. In the bowels of the machine. Wait a minute. Where's the thing you get? Okay. It's behind glass. Oh, that's maybe that's why it didn't work, because it's behind glass. Oh yeah, there. So I must have got, maybe I got it. I don't know. I didn't see it. Oh, the glass might block it. Get rid of some stuff here. What I need is like a trapdoor. Trapdoor. So it doesn't fall back into the hopper immediately. Okay, so I'm a worker, right? I'm a worker in the capitalist system. I'm a worker in the system, and I only have this pickaxe. I don't really own anything. I use my labor to transform the natural world into something called a commodity, which is something that can be sold on the capitalist market. And then in return for my labor, transforming the natural world into something useful for the capitalist, I get something in return for it, right? Let me show you. So I'm transforming. Did I do it again? Oh, shit. Get out of here. I need cobblestone. Alright, so I'm transforming the natural world, again, as fast as I can, into a commodity that the capitalists want. And it's funny that I'm doing this like manually. Man, I should just like talk about it, but nah. It's better if I show you. Because look at, right? It takes actual time. I can't, like, a worker has to spend their time, yeah, to do this. Time and energy. Labor is time and energy, dude. Labor is worthwhile. Labor has value, is what I'm saying. The capitalist pays people to do this, to transform the natural world, right? The world, and in exchange, look how hungry I got. In exchange, I'll toss that in there. I hope this works. I went and got coffee the last time. I was so see, that's ADHD. Oh, there it is. So I put in all that time and energy to get one emerald, right? So then, so you put all that time and money in to get a paycheck. I got a paycheck, right? That emerald block signifies a paycheck. So I got a paycheck. So I come with my paycheck. Now that I got a paycheck from my employer for transforming labor into transforming nature by using my labor to transform nature into a commodity, I receive in exchange a paycheck. I take that paycheck and I insert it into the capitalist system, right? I trade money to reproduce myself, to work the next day. Like, what am I going to do with this money? I'm gonna spend it on rent, on food, on intoxication to numb myself so I can do it the next day, because this is a cycle, right? So I and it's taxing. It's hard. It's like painful to like like the conditions aren't always good for me to transform nature into commodity. So it takes a toll on the worker. So the worker wants to numb themselves. So from the exploitation, it's called exploitation. So what do? They take their paycheck and they insert it into the capitalist system. And what do they receive in return? Small. It goes up, right? All it does is it goes up into the system, and it flies out of the system. That's all it does. They go to work, they spend their time and money and energy to throw it into the capitalist system. They come back here, they throw their paycheck into the system, they throw it in there, they get a small potato to eat, and then they do it again. They have to go do it again. And where does the money go? It flows up and out of the system every time. Watch, you stick it in, it's gonna go up and out of the system. And you get a small potato. You do it. You wake up the next day in the morning. You trade your work for a paycheck. You put your paycheck into the system. What happens? You get small potatoes, and then where does that money go? Up and out of the system. Over and over and over and over again. If you do that over and over and over again, eventually you're gonna dry up. If you put a pot of water with no lid on it and you turn on the heat, eventually it's gonna evaporate and there's gonna be nothing left. That's why you need a tax on the rich. Because if you don't tax the rich, all they're going to do is have the money up and fly out of the system. Every time. Every time. The only way you institute a tax on the rich is if you lift up truth, liberty, and justice. And so in the 1950s and 60s, when America achieved when the United States achieved that amazing thing called a middle class, it was like the middle class in America, that's pretty like amazing. I don't think it's ever happened. It rarely has ever happened before in the history of the world that there's been a middle class. But the middle class freedoms were only confined to white Americans. Only white Americans achieved this great stuff. Only cisgendered Americans achieved this stuff. Only really men achieved this. Women had to struggle for their freedom. Even with the vote, they still had to struggle to have like any kind of like the reason why divorce was so low in the past was because there was no economic future for women if they weren't married. The only economic future for women who weren't married was either a servant or like a prostitute or a sex worker. That's it. That's it. Like they had no future, so they had to stay in abusive relationships because of economic necessity. It wasn't until like I think the 70s that they gained like the ability to be able to work and sustain themselves economically without the need of a man. And once they were able to do that, yeah, they left their abusive husbands, of course. Freedom. So the thing is, in the 1950s and 60s, America achieved the ideal of liberalism, but only briefly. They turned off the machine. They turned off the machine after that. And that allowed wealth to accumulate at the top again, and that's what got us back into the, so instead of staying here, we slid back to this, to go into this direction. That's why it's important at this moment that we turn this machine back on. It's important that we turn this machine back on to revitalize our country and the world. We must raise up liberty and justice, not just pay lip service, but actually do it. And then once we achieve this liberal dream, we can't stop here. We can't just turn the machine off once a certain class of people achieve their equality and achieve their get their goods. We have to keep it going until everyone is free. The whole world is free. We have to keep the machine going until the whole world is free. That's our destiny. So now you know. Does this one here? Does this one work? Here, quit game. Let me see if this works. Uh-oh, this is kind of weird. Bedrock. Oh no, my camera. Here, you're gonna see into my dirty kitchen. All right, here. Is Bedrock even going? Bedrock. Okay, block it. I haven't been here in forever. Ah! Man, this is weird. Yeah, this is the first train station I ever made. Here. Central Memorial Station, dedicated to the people of the United States who sacrificed their lives in service to an ideal. May they rest with truth, justice, and liberty. So I made, yeah. This is like one of my first Minecraft worlds. One of the first ones. Not the first one. I lost the very, very first one. But yeah. So yeah, nice. I like the train station. And of course, it runs terribly on my on this video card. I'm using an AMD card, not an NVIDIA card, so it runs really bad. But that's all right. All right. I'm gonna go back. Go back. Go back. Oh, Java's gonna take me a while to boot up. Oh no. But yeah. So it's important that I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that doing laundry is part of this of honoring. Doing the laundry of the United States is part of honoring the sacrifice made by our ancestors. I mean, I'm basically rectifying, trying to reconcile the ideal of the United States with its history. And all nations need to do this in order to advance. All nations need to reconcile their history with their present consciousness of knowing what is right and what is not right. All right, so I have a bunch of stuff I was going to talk about, but it was all American centric, and I don't want to talk about it now. Yeah, I was talking smack about those Confederate soldiers. I don't know how many of them were necessarily on board with the Confederacy. A lot of them probably were just kind of just got, I don't know. But yeah, nonetheless they tried to end the United States with violence. And Americans had to sacrifice their lives to stop them. Loyal Americans. So, before I go on talking anymore, I think we can end it there. Yeah, until next time, America. Peace. Pogo Kiddo out. Stop.